A new WWE commentator debuted at SummerSlam. There is said to be no heat on Seth Rollins for that ref cam botch, and Jacob Fatu was potentially injured last night. It's time for the news. So something that you might have missed if you didn't catch the 3-hour pre-show on last night's SummerSlam. Fantastic night, and a new face, Joe Tessitoire, making his debut on that pre-show, where Michael Cole announced that he was going to be making his official debut behind the desk on the September 2nd edition of Monday Night Raw. Michael Cole is going to be heading over to SmackDown, seemingly breaking up the Pat Cole connection.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because when Joe was first announced as joining WWE, this was back in July, it was announced that he was going to be leading a three-man booth on SmackDown. So it seems like WWE has maybe changed these plans with Michael Cole now moving to SmackDown, Joe taking over on Raw, potentially with Pat McAfee. We're not quite sure on that situation.
It's a confusing one because Pat has other engagements as well, which take place on the Friday. So he definitely won't be doing stuff on Friday, but theoretically he could make it in time for Monday Night Raw, but we don't quite know the full situation with that at the moment. A bit of info on Joe Tessitoire. Got a few notes just in case you're unfamiliar with his work.
Well, yeah, so he works for ESPN and ABC, primarily doing college football and top rank boxing. So kind of similar to Pat McAfee's sort of stuff with the college football things. He's previously done work on Monday Night Football and college football. He's got a long history, though, with Nick Khan, because Nick Khan, when he was in his agent days, his first client was Joe Tessitoire, which is, you know, that's a long time ago. They've come back seemingly together, joining WWE. Long history with Triple H. He's also a big wrestling fan, which is always good when you bring in someone in to do commentary for the product.
It's handy because in the past, I mean, they've actively avoided trying to bring in wrestling fans. They want like pro sports journalist kind of thing. He's really good, but he clearly knows his stuff as well. I went back and watched on YouTube just some of his stuff. He's very, very good at what he does, and it seems like he knows the product as well.
He's ticking both of those boxes for WWE, and hopefully he'll blend quite well with the current product and how the commentary team is operating. But hopefully, though, like, he's not going to get chucked in at the deep end.
Sounds like he's getting chucked in at the deep end.
It sounds like it, but
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We won't have to wait too long for that one. A controversial tweet going out at the beginning of the LA Knights Logan Paul US title match. WWE superstar Bronson Reed tweeting the following.
All right. Piss break.
So, I don't know what to make of this. My assumption is that if this isn't in storyline or he's not trying to work himself into a US title thing, he probably doesn't like Logan Paul, especially following the controversial tweet that Logan Paul, or tweets in fact, that Logan Paul put out this week. I feel a bit bad, a bit weird about this because, like, sure, you might not like Logan Paul if that was his intention here, but also LA Knights in that match.
He's quite good.
He is quite good.
Good.
It was a really decent match, and it was the result that we've all been after for the longest time.
It feels like a year and a half in the making. It feels like it's needed to happen maybe a year ago, and then it didn't happen, and it's finally happened. It definitely feels more a dig at Logan Paul than LA Knight, who seems to be well liked backstage, right?
I would assume that that's what's happened there, but I can imagine WWE being a bit, pardon the expression, pissed off about one of their matches on their second biggest premium live event of the year being described as a piss break match. That's not a good message to send out to viewers.
Especially when he's one of your top crossover stars and is sponsoring and has a sponsor all over the show. Although he doesn't name exactly who it's addressing, he did tweet it just before that match, so you would assume it was that match he was talking about.
Make up your own minds there, but if you see Bronson Reed jobbing out for the next 6 months, you know why. A bit of an update on that weird little ref cam botch. You might have caught it, you might not. You might have seen that Seth took his ref cam off. The ref cam, in case you didn't watch tonight, was an idea stolen from the XFL when they had the ref cam hats.
And WCW.
And WCW.
Yeah, they had that back in the day.
They did. Anyway, the debut of the ref cam happened. We saw it in the first match last night. They cut to it a few times during. It was quite interesting. The clues in the title, right? You can see what's happening through the ref cam, which is mounted on them. Yeah, I think it was really cool and everything. And obviously, there was a special guest referee match, so they wanted to catch it in as many angles as possible. Seth came out, he's wearing the thing, but unfortunately, there was some sort of malfunction. It looked like the battery pack fell out, which led to Seth taking it off, so we didn't see the shots that I think we were meant to see. A little update from Corey Brennan of Fightful.com.
He says, told that the battery pack fell off of the ref cam during McIntyre versus Punk and and Rollins made the decision to take the camera off. No heat on Seth, as it was seen as a possibility beforehand. You kind of have to take that into account, especially when you're trying something for the first time. It could go wrong completely. And
teething problems, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the last that we'll see of it. I thought it was a curious decision to introduce it. I wish they sort of introduced it a few months ago and got rid of those issues, because you don't
want to do it on a pay-per-view there could be those issues where you want those shots of maybe Punk in Rollins' face.
Yeah, when you've got the special guest ref match, which is a bit of a rarity, you want those shots. Anyway, that's what happened. No heat on Seth, nothing to worry about. Arn Anderson returning to WWE at SummerSlam last night. Cody making his way to the ring for his main event match against Solo Sikoa. And who pops up but the Glock-wielding maniac that is Arn Anderson?
Yeah, Cody was taking Pharaoh for a walk just before he heads to the ring. I was wondering who's he going to leave Pharaoh with. Of course, well, he didn't actually leave him with Arn, but Arn stopped by. He gave some advice to Cody, saying, you've got 4 pissed off island boys. They want to destroy the memory of Roman Reigns, and they want to take what you've worked your whole life for. So you know they're coming, and as the champion, you know you've got a target on your back. But it just so happens that I've still got a little influence in some of those locker rooms, and I've just weaved in and out and had a couple of conversations. You've still got friends, and a couple you already know about. They're on their way. And it was at this point we all went, it's got to be Kevin and Randy, innit?
There was more. If you want to check out the full results, it's all on What Happened At, which is on the channel right now. Great to see Arn Anderson back, a guy with a long history, obviously in professional wrestling as a whole, but in WWE, he is a former producer. We don't quite know if this is a little cameo, if this is a one-off appearance, or if he's coming back to produce at the time of recording. Anyway.
Yeah, I would like to see him back. I know Cody's been teasing that he would like to have someone like a Paul Heyman figure recently, and Arn fits that bill. He was it in AEW, so maybe I'd like to see it for sure.
Cody's such a great talker. I don't think he needs like a mouthpiece or anything like that.
Just needs that strategist.
Yes,
he does. Whispers in his ear. Yeah.
But I mean, Arn he produced for WWE for so long. He's a guy. He's arguably one of like the greatest minds in professional wrestling who is still around. And so it wouldn't surprise me if Arn Anderson has been picked up by WWE. We will keep you updated on that. That wasn't the only familiar face that we saw last night. Stephanie McMahon making an appearance at SummerSlam. She was in the crowd during Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn. It cut to her after the match. And then following the CM Punk Drew McIntyre match, she gave CM Punk a lovely little hug as well.
Cuddle at ringside. It's nice to see those two obviously back on speaking terms and him back in WWE. But yeah, we didn't really see that on camera. That was kept sort of for the people in attendance. Yeah,
it's not the sort of thing, I guess, that you would cut to anyway. Super heated match, it finishes, and then CM Punk goes up and has a cuddle.
Yeah.
But it is good to see. We've not seen Stephanie on our screen since WrestleMania. Still no word on whether she's going to return to WWE behind the scenes or anything like that. It wouldn't surprise me if the right job came up that Stephanie would be.
She's got a long history with the company.
Oh, for sure. We're going to finish off with a bit of an update on Jacob Fatu. Some stuff that wasn't shown on TV. So, during the match, the main event, Jacob Fatu comes out. He hits the big splash from the top through the announce table. And it appears that he may have been injured. So we don't know if this is a work, because obviously there was a big return following this happening, and they wanted to basically write Jacob off temporarily so he didn't interfere in what was going on.
There's no reason for him to
sort of protect that return. You'll know what I'm talking about. Or if this was legit. We've slowed down the footage. We've gone frame by frame on this, and it certainly does appear that Jacob Fatu hits his leg very, very hard. So some of those shots, it looks like the leg bends.
It's bending a little bit, it looks like it hit his shin on the side of the table. Either way, he's going to be in a lot of pain.
It looks really, really rough. I personally, I think it was probably a work, but it's a testament to what a great seller Jacob Fatu may be. If this was a work, he's got everybody guessing this. At time of recording, there's no update on whether or not it was legit or not, but he was helped to the back by an official, arm around him and everything, give him a hand to the outside. It could have been a stinger. It could have been something more serious. My assumption is that if it was more serious, he wouldn't have just had the one ref helping him to the back.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell, isn't it?
And they maybe would have had a medical attendant straight away over at him while they were focusing on stuff that was happening in the ring, maybe stretching him out. But also at the same time, it was quite a big ending. So you would want to protect that and maybe not distract from what was going on, get him out at the end of the show. But it was another, 10 minutes?
He was out there for some time.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep you updated on that via cultaholic.com. So check that out. Hopefully we'll have an update very, very soon. Hopefully Jacob's all right, because you've got to believe that they are building to a...
He's a current champion.
He is a current
tag team champion, won on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So if he is injured, that's not great for the bloodline.
No, and moving forward, it looks like we're probably going to get some sort of OG bloodline, maybe plus Sami Zayn versus Bloodline 2.0.
Hey, War Games is coming up.
War Games is coming up, and you don't want Jacob Fatu,
No.
one of the top guys, right?
Yeah.
He already
Immediately, he's a star.
Yeah, he's very, very unique. So hopefully Jacob Fatu is all right, but we will keep you updated via cultaholic.com. Cheers to everybody who tuned in to our live stream reactions tonight. We had an absolute blast doing them. What Happened At is on the channel right now. You're going to have to stay tuned a little bit longer for WTF, which is coming out on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good rest of your weekend. Take care. All the best. Goodbye.